Another day, another caravan here on Caravan Source YouTube channel. I just had a phone call from someone and it prompted me to make this video. I'm going to get in the shade so that I'm not squinting. Topic of this video is, should I buy a static caravan or should I buy a touring caravan? If you want to hear what I have to say on the matter, then hang on a second and I'll get back to you. So, there's various options on leisure vehicles in the UK these days. You can have a touring caravan and tow it behind your car. You can have a motorhome, you can have a camper van, motorhome. All of which, well, the touring caravan is clearly going to be the cheapest option, as you can get one of them for 500 quid if you so desire to tow something damp and pretty knackered around behind your car. But some people don't mind that. In fact, I had a customer this week who brought us a caravan that I wouldn't have... He'd have had to pay me to take it off him. And he wanted some work done to it. And I said to him, well, you're looking at 650 quid at least to have this work done. Damp work, servicing, repairs, blah, blah, blah. And I said, it might not be worth your while. And he rang me up and he said, what do you mean it might not be worth my while? I says, well, mate, your caravan's only worth about 200 quid max. And he goes, we love that caravan. We paid £1,700 for that caravan. And I'm thinking, oh dear, this is not quite what I was expecting from this conversation. I says, well, I'm sorry, mate. Like, I know during lockdown a lot of people were paying crazy money for caravans, but your caravan's not worth that much. However, it's subjective. If you love the caravan, if you don't mind that the front window's half taped up with gaffer tape and there's damp in the front and back and there's a mushroom going in the back, you're happy to sleep in that. Entirely up to you. But anyway, that was a little digression. I do apologise. Topic of the video, static caravans or touring caravans? Well, I don't have anything to do with static caravans anymore. I used to have a little bit to do with them, and I did live in one for 2 years, so I know the benefits of static caravans. But I guess the first half of the name gives it away, doesn't it? A static caravan is static, and a touring caravan is able to be toured with. Now, I understand if you found a lovely site up the coast somewhere and you want to spend every weekend there, it's going to be tempting to buy a static caravan. But let me just check for a second that you've considered these facts. A static caravan is going to probably cost you £40,000 plus. And once your caravan is situated on their site, you'll probably be buying it from the site anyway. Once it's on that site, anything that you want to do with that caravan is going to cost you another fortune. So the site has preferred people who it uses and takes a huge commission from to do anything. So if you want decking put on, that'll cost you maybe £15,000 for a couple of grand's worth of decking, right? 15 grand. If you want your caravan winterized over the winter, that's going to cost you £500, let's say. I don't know the cost. I don't have a static caravan. I know people who've had them. The prices have probably gone up since then. So if you want every winter to stop your caravan getting frost damage, you have to pay to have it winterized. That's probably going to cost you £400 or £500 just for a plumber to come out and turn your water off and take the water out your pipes. Seriously, like 10-20 minutes work. If you want to move your caravan, they are going to charge you to move it. So you may think that you own that caravan, but you don't really own that caravan. Essentially, it's a rental. Because when you come to sell it, if you want to sell it, they're going to take a commission of, say, 10, 15, 20% to sell that caravan. If you want to sell it, you've got to give them 20% of whatever you sell it for. The person who's buying it is probably then tied to the site, and they're going to be getting the annual fees from you as well. So site fees now are anywhere between £4,000 and I would say £8,000 per year. 8,000 is probably very, very high end. £4,000, £5,000, £6,000 a year site fees just for you to have your static caravan, which you can't do anything with without their permission, and paying their preferred suppliers to do whatever you want to do on their site. The other thing, basically, this guy just rang me about, he says there's a caravan, my friend of a friend, their static caravan boiler has broken. and the site has sent a plumber out to quote them on a new boiler. Now, the site, the plumber had quoted them £3,000 to replace a boiler. The boiler is probably about £600 to £1,000 retail, probably about 600 quid retail. It's just a water heater that runs on LPG, and they're quoting £3,000. And I said, yeah, that doesn't surprise me. It annoys me, don't get me wrong. It's completely wrong, exploitative. I could use stronger words, really. It's not nice. It's not nice, basically exploiting people because they're on your site. And I'm imagining what's happened is the plumber works for the site. The site takes maybe even 50% commission. So the site's making 1,500 quid. The plumber's making whatever it is. It's ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. So what's the alternative? Well, I would say a touring caravan is the alternative. I really would. There are sites that'll let you permanently pitch a touring caravan. You can leave it there all year round. The site fees can be up to half the price of a static caravan. And if you want to move it, the great thing is you just tow it away. Just tow it away. They can't do anything about it. They can't hold you. They're not gonna exploit you. Anything you want to do, you can get your own servicing guy in to service your caravan. If you buy a big twin axle, even an 8 foot wide, you could get a brand new one for less than the price of probably a 3-year-old static caravan. And like I say, the good thing is you can do whatever you want with it. You can sell it, you can move it, you can service it, get it drained down by other people. I'm not sure how it would stand for decking. They might not let you do decking, but you can put an awning on the side. You can do whatever the heck you want, and it's not going to cost you anywhere near as much. Now, I'm not saying this because I have any caravans that suit the bill particularly. I mean, I do have this eldest twin axle behind me here. Oh, what a convenient time to plug this caravan. So you've got a caravan here, which is 20 foot internally, 26 foot externally. And, I'll fin up my nose, it's got a seating area at the front, kitchen area here, full-size fridge freezer, a double bed here, a wardrobe, and a lovely walk-in bathroom with a reasonably, I would say this is a 1.5 person size shower. This is a very large shower. I wouldn't say it was a double shower, but it's certainly larger than some of them. This may not be the layout which suits you. It may not work for you. This is £20,000. This is half the price of what they'll try and sell you as a static caravan. And it's 20 foot internally, as I say. Or there's this one here, which is only £6,000. How long's this one? This is 20.5 foot as well. This is a twin axle caravan. This is a six berth caravan. And this one, I would say, is a bit more flexible, particularly if you've got kids. 2 single beds or a double make up here. You've got your kitchen, you've still got your fridge in here. You've got your central heating, your full cooker. It's even got an electric ring. 2 bunk beds here, but during the day it can be a dinette. You've got this sort of space here that pulls down, and obviously you've got 2 bunk beds there. And then in this one you've got a separate bathroom, which is what you'd expect from a static caravan anyway, with a shower cubicle. So you could get changed in here without having to close off the whole rest of the caravan. This has got an awning in there already. £6,000. There's no damp in this thing, and it comes fully serviced. So there you go. I wasn't actually intending on plugging any caravans with this video, but I just wanted you that you can get a big touring caravan and stick it on a permanent pitch. And hey, you might not even like the site. You might get there and think, actually, after 6 months I want to move to another site. And you can either pay someone to come and tow it away for you for like 40-60 quid locally, or you can tow it yourself, obviously, if that's something you can do. Whereas if you buy a static caravan, you are tied to that site. They'll either sell it for you and take a huge commission and you'll have lost £10,000 straight away, or if you want to sell it, you've got to go through the hassle of finding someone who's willing to stay on that site and take that risk off you and pay those site fees of £4,000 to £8,000 a year. And you're going to lose. If you put 15 grand's worth of decking down, if you eventually move your caravan, you've lost that 10-15 grand's worth of decking. It's gone. Like, they will probably keep it and sell it to someone else. It's just absolutely ridiculous what these sites do. They screw you in every which way that they can, and I really don't like the business model, and it attracts certain people to that business, unfortunately, and these people are buying up all of the little family sites that have been running for years, that have good reputations. And yes, they're developing them and they're putting nice new pubs and that on them and making them nice and flash, but they're also just absolutely screwing their customers. And it's not a recent thing, it's been going on for decades. I've heard stories of like widows whose husbands have died, and the way that they've treated them is just despicable, really, really despicable. It's just not nice, and it just exploits people in their vulnerability, and they're just losing tens of thousands of pounds. Whereas you could buy one of these caravans here, you could use it for a few years and only lose a couple of grand on it, and you've had your holidays out of it, and they're not going to screw you when you come to take it away. So I just thought I'd leave you with that. That was probably a little 10-minute video of me ranting on about static caravan or touring caravan. Why would I want one or the other? I'm not saying don't get a static caravan. I'm saying just go into it with your eyes open. There are bonuses and many pluses to having static caravans. If you're building a house, for example, and you could have it delivered and live in it for a couple of years. I mean, I'll tell you now, I bought a static caravan for £1,400. This was 10 years ago, and I actually changed the interior. I put a sofa in it and I painted the walls. It looked a bit more like a house than a static. Normally that would devalue a caravan, by the way, so I don't recommend changing it. But I just spent a little bit of money making it a bit more like a house, and I lived in it for 2 years, and I sold it for £4,000 afterwards. So I'm not saying static caravans are wrong. Off-site, like end-of-life caravans, can be fantastic for putting security guards in. We do that on site. They're perfectly good to live in if you don't mind the fact the heat escapes very quickly out of them and you're forever having to heat the thing and it's very inefficient, blah blah blah. They are fantastic. What I'm saying is, if you were thinking about spending tens of thousands of pounds getting onto a site, should you do that with a static or should you do that with a caravan? The decision is yours. I can see the pros and cons for both. All I really want to do is make sure you know what you're getting into. So thanks for watching. I'll see you in another video. Take care. Keep on caravanning. If you've enjoyed this video and found it helpful, why not click subscribe? Why not even hit the bell notification icon, and you'll get a notification when we upload other similar content in future.